Walking into a dealership right now and picking an SUV purely because of a flashy test drive or an aggressive financing deal is the fastest way to trap yourself in a multi-year financial nightmare. Some of the best-selling crossovers on the market look incredibly sleek on the outside, but underneath the hood they are plagued by fragile electrical systems, oil-burning turbo setups, and premature transmission failures. Driven by the latest long-term reliability tracking and teardown data, these are the 7 SUVs only foolish buyers are choosing. Number 7. Jeep Compass. The Jeep Compass might wear a familiar badge, but that's exactly what makes it such a questionable purchase in 2026. Many buyers see the Jeep name and assume they're getting a rugged, dependable SUV. The reality is far less impressive once you look beyond the marketing. The biggest problem is simple. The Compass doesn't give buyers a good reason to choose it over the competition. Starting at roughly $28,000 and climbing well above $35,000 in higher trims, it enters a price range packed with SUVs that offer better reliability, stronger resale values, and fewer ownership headaches. Reliability concerns continue to follow the Compass. Owner complaints involving electronics, warning lights, software glitches, and drivetrain issues have hurt confidence in the vehicle. Even when repairs aren't catastrophic, repeated trips to the dealership can quickly turn ownership into a frustrating experience. Then there's depreciation. The Compass tends to lose value faster than many of its rivals, meaning owners can watch thousands of dollars disappear from their investment in just a few years. That's a painful reality for buyers who thought they were making a smart financial decision. What's especially concerning is that the Compass isn't competing against weak alternatives. Buyers can walk into the same dealership category and find SUVs with stronger reliability records and better long-term ownership histories. That makes the Compass feel difficult to justify unless someone is buying purely because of the Jeep badge. The worst vehicles aren't always the ones with catastrophic flaws. Sometimes they're the ones that simply offer less than the competition for the same money. That's exactly where the Jeep Compass finds itself in 2026, and it's why it starts this countdown. Number 6. Buick Enclave. The Buick Enclave may look like a premium family SUV, but in 2026 it feels increasingly difficult to recommend. The problem isn't that the Enclave is terrible in one specific area. The problem is that buyers spending this kind of money can simply do much better elsewhere. With many models easily pushing past $50,000, expectations are naturally high. Buyers want excellent reliability, strong resale value, and a vehicle that will remain dependable long after the warranty expires. Unfortunately, the Enclave has struggled to build the kind of reputation that inspires that level of confidence. One major concern is depreciation. The Enclave has historically lost value faster than many competing SUVs. That means owners can take a significant financial hit when it's time to sell or trade in. Losing thousands more than expected isn't something most buyers think about in the showroom, but it becomes very real a few years later. Long-term ownership is another question mark. While the Enclave offers plenty of comfort and space, it hasn't earned the same trust as some of its most reliable competitors. When buyers are making a purchase they'll live with for years, reliability matters far more than a few extra features. The market has also changed dramatically. Today's buyers have access to numerous three-row SUVs that offer better dependability, stronger resale values, and lower ownership costs. Against that competition, the Enclave often feels overpriced for what it ultimately delivers. The Buick Enclave isn't a disaster, but that's not enough in a segment this competitive. When buyers are spending over $50,000, good enough simply doesn't cut it. In 2026, choosing the Enclave means overlooking too many stronger alternatives, which is why it lands near the bottom of this list. Number 5. Kia Sorento. The Kia Sorento has become a popular choice for families looking for a midsize SUV, but in 2026 it remains a vehicle that asks buyers to take on more risk than they probably realize. At first glance, the Sorento appears to offer a lot for the money. The problem is what happens after the excitement of the purchase fades. One of the biggest concerns is long-term dependability. While Kia has improved significantly over the years, the Sorento has continued to generate complaints involving powertrain components, electronics, and software-related issues. For buyers planning to keep their SUV well beyond the warranty period, those concerns are difficult to ignore. The Sorento also suffers from an identity problem. It's priced close enough to some of the segment's strongest SUVs that buyers often end up comparing them directly. That's where the vehicle starts to struggle. Several competitors offer stronger reliability records, better resale values, and greater long-term ownership confidence. Depreciation is another issue. While many shoppers focus on monthly payments, resale value can have a major impact on the true cost of ownership. Vehicles with questionable reliability histories often lose value faster, and the Sorento has not always performed as strongly as some of its rivals in that area. Perhaps the biggest problem is that the Sorento looks like a smarter purchase than it actually is. Buyers see attractive styling, impressive features, and competitive pricing, but those strengths become less important if ownership turns into a series of unexpected repairs and declining resale value. The Kia Sorento isn't an SUV that everyone will regret buying. However, in a market filled with proven alternatives, it remains a vehicle that requires a bigger leap of faith than many shoppers should be willing to make in 2026. Number 4. Subaru Ascent. The Subaru Ascent was supposed to be the vehicle that gave families a larger alternative to the brand's popular SUVs. Instead, it has spent much of its life fighting reliability concerns that continue to make buyers nervous in 2026. While the Ascent offers plenty of space and practicality, those strengths become less impressive when long-term dependability remains a question mark. The biggest issue is the vehicle's reputation. Over the years, the Ascent has been associated with a variety of owner complaints involving transmission behavior, electronic systems, and quality control concerns. Subaru has addressed many problems along the way, but the model never fully escaped the shadow created by its earlier reliability struggles. That becomes especially important because the Ascent isn't cheap. Many examples sell for $40,000 to $50,000, placing them directly against some of the most trusted family SUVs in America. When buyers are spending that kind of money, they want confidence that their vehicle will remain dependable for years to come. The Ascent also faces a tough comparison problem. Buyers shopping in this segment have access to SUVs with stronger reliability records and better long-term ownership histories. When those alternatives exist at similar prices, choosing the Ascent becomes harder to justify. Another concern is resale value. Vehicles with mixed reliability reputations often struggle to hold their value as well as their most dependable competitors. That can make ownership more expensive than buyers initially expect. The Subaru Ascent isn't a terrible SUV. It offers space, comfort, and practicality. The problem is that buyers aren't choosing from a limited market anymore. In 2026, there are simply too many stronger options available. For shoppers who value long-term reliability and ownership confidence, the Ascent remains a vehicle that raises more questions than it answers. Number 3. Nissan Pathfinder. The Nissan Pathfinder has improved significantly compared to some of its predecessors, but in 2026 it still carries baggage that many buyers simply can't ignore. The SUV does a lot of things reasonably well, yet there's one problem that continues to follow it everywhere: trust. For years, Nissan's reputation took a hit because of transmission-related concerns across multiple models. Even though the current Pathfinder uses a different transmission setup, many shoppers remain skeptical. When people are spending $40,000 to $50,000 on a family SUV, they want complete confidence in their purchase, and the Pathfinder still struggles to earn that confidence from a lot of buyers. The problem becomes even more noticeable when comparing it with competitors that have spent decades building bulletproof reliability reputations. Buyers don't have to take a chance when so many proven alternatives exist in the same price range. Another issue is resale value. Vehicles with a history of reliability concerns often face greater depreciation, and that's money owners never get back. A lower trade-in value can make the Pathfinder significantly more expensive to own than it first appears. The Pathfinder also finds itself stuck in a difficult position. It isn't the most reliable SUV in its class. It isn't the best value, and it isn't the strongest long-term ownership choice. In a market filled with excellent family SUVs, being average is often not enough. That's what ultimately hurts the Pathfinder the most. There's nothing catastrophically wrong with it, but buyers are being asked to overlook past concerns while paying prices that can exceed $50,000. In 2026, that's a tough sell. The Nissan Pathfinder may work out perfectly for some owners, but when safer and more proven choices are sitting right beside it on dealer lots, choosing the Pathfinder starts looking like an unnecessary gamble. Number 2. Jeep Grand Cherokee. The Jeep Grand Cherokee continues to attract buyers with its rugged image and premium styling, but in 2026 it remains one of the easiest SUVs to regret owning. The reason is simple. It promises far more than it consistently delivers when it comes to long-term ownership. At first glance, the Grand Cherokee looks like a luxury bargain. Many models sell for $45,000 to $65,000, and higher trims can climb even further. The problem is that buyers paying that kind of money expect reliability and quality that match the price tag. Unfortunately, the Grand Cherokee has struggled for years to build that level of trust. One of the biggest concerns is its history of reliability issues. The SUV has been associated with a wide range of complaints involving electronics, suspension systems, sensors, infotainment technology, and other expensive components. Even if individual problems aren't catastrophic, they can quickly turn ownership into a frustrating and costly experience. The financial impact doesn't stop there. Repair costs on modern SUVs can be significant, especially once warranty coverage expires. Combined with depreciation that often exceeds some key competitors, the Grand Cherokee can become far more expensive to own than many buyers initially expect. What makes the situation worse is the competition. Buyers spending $50,000 or $60,000 have access to SUVs with much stronger reliability records and significantly better ownership histories. When viewed through that lens, the Grand Cherokee starts looking like a risky bet rather than a smart purchase. The Grand Cherokee still has plenty of appeal, which is exactly why so many people continue buying it. But attractive styling and a famous name can only carry a vehicle so far. In 2026, buyers who prioritize long-term value and dependability may find themselves wishing they had chosen something else. Number 1. Volkswagen Taos. Taking the top spot on this list is the Volkswagen Taos, an SUV that perfectly illustrates how a vehicle can look like a bargain while becoming a costly mistake over time. The Taos isn't the most expensive SUV here, which actually makes its problems even harder to justify. The biggest issue is reliability. Since its introduction, the Taos has struggled with a growing list of owner complaints involving engine performance, electrical systems, software glitches, warning lights, and general quality control concerns. For buyers expecting years of dependable transportation, that's a major red flag. What makes the situation particularly troubling is that the compact SUV segment is packed with excellent alternatives. Buyers shopping in the $25,000 to $35,000 range have access to vehicles with stronger reliability records, better resale values, and lower long-term ownership costs. That raises an obvious question: why take the risk? The answer is often styling or brand appeal, but those advantages disappear quickly when unexpected repairs start showing up. A vehicle doesn't have to suffer a catastrophic failure to become frustrating. Repeated dealership visits, recurring software issues, and nagging reliability concerns can be just as annoying for owners. Then there's depreciation. The Taos tends to lose value faster than many of the segment's most trusted competitors. That means owners can get hit twice, first through reliability concerns and then through weaker resale value when it's time to move on. The worst purchases aren't always the vehicles with the biggest flaws. They're often the ones that make the least sense compared to everything else available. That's exactly where the Volkswagen Taos finds itself in 2026. With so many proven compact SUVs on the market, choosing the Taos means accepting more risk for less reward. And that's why it earns the #1 spot among the SUVs only foolish buyers choose in 2026. And with this, we have reached the end of this video. Make sure to like it and subscribe the channel for future upcoming videos.